Family in from Connecticut, friends in from New York, friends in and family from Dallas, Alabama. We're well traveled and well represented tonight. We really do thank you immensely for sharing this moment with these guys. It's really all about them. I know they genuinely appreciate it. They don't like to be in the spotlight. And I even told Jessica, Lynn asked me to say a few things, and I said, well, that's good. But I told Jessica, I said, if it was something embarrassing about it, just do one of these and I'll continue. So, again, thanks everybody for coming. The story of these two, from our perspective, and I've got to give a little bit of history from Lynn and I's perspective on this. The story of Ben and Jessica really starts not in '98, but in '97. When Ben was fortunate enough to play baseball, and we have a few guys that play baseball, like Mike Molly, Jason, Michael, been on our team. Ben made American League at 11-12. There was a time, Ben was a good ball player, had a great year, good stats, did make All-Stars. And he was very distraught, came home, and what did dads do? The dads sit their son down and say, well, you know, son, it's like this. Sometimes God gives you gifts. You take those gifts and you use them wisely. I said, you know what? You have a unique ability to do well in school. And Ben had probably one of those aha moments that an 11-year-old would have. And he said, you think that's really cool? And I said, you know what? If you do well, I said, you can shine in other areas that you never imagined. And that aha moment stuck with him for the rest of his life. I mean, I can tell you, as a father, the light bulb went off, and I could see in his eyes that, you know, this is something I'm really good at. And there's a point to this story, because 1 year later, in '98, the Trishes were in a construction period through another house and the renovation. Imagine that, the Trishes having a house in the renovation. We were living on Amherst Street. For those of you who know, that's where the street I grew up with. My mom's here tonight. We had every year we had a Halloween party, had the spacewalk, and Ben had a lot of his friends from St. Mary Magdalene, guys came over. Well, little did I know, in October of 1998, on Halloween night, late in the evening, there's a knock on the door. And it's like, okay. Well, like, the trick-or-treaters are all gone. Now, it's big. Well, I opened the door, because Linda said, let's open the door. So I opened the door, and who's there? I got a nun and a wizard. And I hit and a dad. Well, the dad was kind of like not quite sure what was going on, so he was out on the sidewalk. So like anything else, you know, the nun, who happens to be married, my son, didn't realize she was getting into a bad habit. But they actually, that night, we got a chance to meet Justin for the first time. And we met Ralph. And soon thereafter, you know, we got a little bit more in the acquaintance mode. We kind of did a few things together. Some of the things we shared was the kids' original. I remember the first time we went out to dinner was when you guys got your letters of acceptance into Dominican and Jesuit. It was a big deal. A lot of anxiety. These kids, at that time, they became good friends and leaning on each other. I mean, the anxiety of being able to, you know, will they accept us? And I told both of these kids, it's like, you know what, if they don't accept kids like you who are, you know, brilliant, bright, active, who are they going to take? I mean, it was that simple. So at a very early age, I could see them leaning on each other. And, you know, that tended to blossom. From that point forward, I mean, they were almost inseparable. As it progressed into early into high school, like adolescents do, they get kind of sidetracked, and they had other things they wanted to do, and places they wanted to go, and maybe people they wanted to see. But I don't think they ever stopped caring for each other, which came back to about, I know Jamie has the moment of the picture, and that was classic, and thank you for sharing that with us. I didn't quite know when the defining moment was, but for her. But I can tell you from that point in junior year, when they came back and started seeing each other, you could see the friendship start to blossom. They were really, really good friends. I mean, anything that life threw at them, they were able to tackle together. Moving forward through a lot of events in our lives, but mainly going through college and undergrad, things of that nature, you guys really torn it up as far as the grades. You know, the one thing about it though, and the reason I go back to my story about Mike Miley was that it then, when he found out grades were essential, when he finally decided, I'm going to focus in on this, and I hope I'm not embarrassing you, but it did catch the eye of Jessica because it was the yin and yang. It was, I'm telling you, there was a competition of who was going to be top in class at Mary Magdalene.
I concur, Barry.
And it's like, I said, it's an uncanny thing. I don't know if it's healthy or unhealthy, but these two seemed to fit a pocket. It was a yin and yang. And I knew that something, a deep root was taking place with these kids. You know, moving forward, we've experienced a lot of things. And I mean, I could go into 2 hours of nice little stories to that end. You know, it's kind of unusual. Glenn and I have 2 sons, they have 2 daughters. And I'm just saying that you know, Jessica is like a daughter we've never had. And I know you feel that way, you've always embraced it at a very early age. And the same thing with Ralph and Sean. I mean, it would be a cliche to just say that, you know, you're the son they've never had. But you know, I can tell you moving forward though, you guys have been best friends. That's something to take with you forever, because always be best friends, because that'll get you through a lot of the older couples here. You know it, you go through the ups and downs and whatever else, you know, internally or externally, whatever's thrown at you, always remain good friends. And I do have to mention one thing. Uncle Jerry's up on the screen here on one of those slides. And if you want something done, and Uncle Jerry told me right after Glenn and I got there years ago, it's like, Barry, if you want something done, and you want Linda to do it, make believe it's her idea. And to this day, I've taken the words of wisdom. And Uncle Jerry wasn't Trish, his mother wasn't Trish. And you know, little did I know that when we were coming up. I hope I haven't embarrassed you. I mean, it's cute little stories about that. But you guys, we can't, Glenn and I can't express how happy we are for you guys and be able to share it amongst all the family and friends. And I know I speak for your parents. I can see the way they look at you guys the same way we do. You know, in 2 days, we'll be very, very happy. I want everybody to lift a glass. Let's do a toast. Come